Hey, what's up everybody, it's Purpose Driven Life Sports and I'm back here for another NBA video. So, last night in the playoffs, both home teams won both game 5s. So, now the Toronto Raptors are up 3-2 and the Denver Nuggets are up 3-2. Raptors are up 3-2 against the Philadelphia 76ers and the Nuggets are up 3-2 against the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I wasn't surprised about the only thing I was surprised about the Raptors win was that they blew out Philadelphia by 36 points. I said I expected it to be a close game because, that's just my feeling because I still don't have a huge trust for the Toronto Raptors, but they may change as we continue in this video, and I think it has changed after what I saw last night. And if I'm just going to be plain and simple, the Blazers got blitzed in the second quarter and third quarter, and there's really nothing they could do in the fourth quarter to really come back when they got blown out by 26 points on Denver's home floor. Now, I said I wasn't going to be surprised if Denver won because they're a great team at home. But the fact that the Blazers only shot 27% from 3, 36% from the field, we'll talk about that in a sec. I want to get to the Raptors-Sixers series first. And it's what I told you guys yesterday is that this 76ers team is just, I didn't trust them. I haven't trusted them all year, and the reason is because you have all this talent, but what you really don't have is a lot of cohesion, and everybody was talking about they didn't play a lot of games together, which is true. I thought that them going through the playoffs together would help them develop this type of, I think experience together does do a lot, but to me it's just, if Tobias Harris is only taking 12 shots and only having 15 points, to me that's a huge problem. I think he has to be a guy that's a focal point more just because of how inconsistent Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons have been. I think what has to happen is that Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris need to play more together. That's what I think should happen, and Brett Brown, the coach of the 76ers, should do that more often. Because if you have those two in the game together and they're both scoring, to me, that limits what the Raptors can really do in terms of going on big runs, and then Philadelphia not being able to stop the bleeding. That was the huge problem, was that Toronto hit 16 threes, and then on the other end, Philadelphia didn't have a rhythm all night. Now, they were up in the first quarter, I think it was 18-11. Sorry, they were up 18-11 until the Raptors came storming back and took the lead and eventually took off in the second quarter. I think they were outscored 39-18. So you see, it's stuff like this that really just makes me not trust a team like Philadelphia. It's not only that they're immature to me because of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid in terms of, to me, immaturity in basketball is when you have things like, I already told you guys about what Joel Embiid did calling his coach, what they've done at the press conferences, things of that nature. To me, also immaturity is when you're not able to step up your game and just play through stuff. I just don't trust Joel Embiid's health, just to be honest. I mean, he's had injury after injury. He's been sick. He's got that knee. He's always had a bad back. You never know when that's going to really take its course. And then for Ben Simmons, everybody talked about a jump shot. You need a jump shot. And he was so good last year, and everybody was surprised by what he was doing, so there wasn't much to adjust to except that you could sag off at times. But he came back this season without a jump shot, and he still averaged 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Having a jump shot makes you... It puts a certain amount of pressure on the defense to where... I don't know what to say because with a jump shot, you have so many options. And here's another problem that I have with Philadelphia before we move on to the Blazers and Nuggets. The spacing for this team is terrible because you have a guy in Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons who both want to handle the ball. And then you have a guy in Joel Embiid who wants to be in the post, but Ben Simmons needs to be in the lane to be effective because he can't shoot. So then you got to have Joel Embiid on the perimeter shooting three-point shots. Joel Embiid, even though he can hit those shots, that's not his game. He doesn't want to be shooting three-pointers. And then you have Jimmy Butler, who always wants to do pick and roll. Well, Joel Embiid doesn't necessarily want to do pick and roll. Then you have Tobias Harris, who probably wants to shoot, catch, and shoot shots or be down in the post as well. But guess what? Ben Simmons wants to be in the post as well. And then you have Joel Embiid as well. Sorry about that. I had a brain fart. And then Joel Embiid and both Ben Simmons want to be in the post or in the lane. So, and then JJ Redick, I don't really know what to say because to me, he doesn't really create too much of a problem. And what he does to me is he balances it out because he can come off screens and shoot. The Sixers have a spacing problem. And to me, it really starts at the top, which is their point guard, Ben Simmons, not being able to stretch the floor. Him having at least a mid-range to a decent three-point shot, if he shot 36% from three, that's good enough to me for them to be a championship contender. And him shooting, if he shot 50% from the field because he's a great finisher, but if he also had a great mid-range but decent three, the spacing would be excellent. And then these pieces would fit together, but because Ben Simmons doesn't have that element to his game, it doesn't fit. And to me, that's the 76ers problem that needs to be addressed, is that you guys have to force him to be in the gym shooting shots every day until he comes out with a decent jumper. Because without it, this problem will continue if you decide to bring the whole starting five back, which is a great starting five, but the spacing is terrible. It's so clogged in the lane that there's nothing you can do. Now, for the Nuggets and Blazers, I already said I'm not surprised. I did pick the Blazers to win, but I said I would not be surprised if the Nuggets win because they're at home. They play great at home. Never been beaten twice on their home floor this year. And then you have a guy in CJ McCollum only at 12 points, 5 of 6, 5 of 16 from the field. He didn't get much. He didn't help out Lillard much. He only shot 2 of 5 from 3. Lillard went 2 of 9 from 3, but he saw 22 points. It was just overall an inefficient night. And like I said, not only did they get blitzed in the second and third quarter when they got outscored heavily, they got out-rebounded 62-44. Nikola Jokic had, again, 25 points, 19 rebounds, 6 assists. Jamal Murray had over 23 points again. It's tough to really give my prediction now because it just seems, I already told you guys, I think Denver just grows with every game. To me, they have a whole bunch of confidence, especially after winning Sunday in Portland, and then you come home and then you blow out Portland on your home floor. Young teams that have momentum built like that, young teams tend to carry it. You saw that in the Raptors 76ers series because once Philadelphia, to me, won the second game in Toronto, then went home and won game 3, to me, they had momentum. What happened was, to me, they kind of got complacent, or it's just something about the 76ers with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons that just throws me off. It's when those two are having bad games, it doesn't matter what's happening with the other three or the other guys on the court. It kind of messes up the whole team's flow. Let's not forget that Joel Embiid turned the ball over 8 times yesterday. I'm pretty sure Ben Simmons turned the ball over 7 times yesterday. So when you have your two stars with 15 combined turnovers, that's a bad sign. Now back to the Blazers. They've been out-rebounded so much in this series because they're not a big team, really. And plus, without Jusuf Nurkic, then your center spot is cut. Because I'm going to say this right now. Myers Leonard is not a good backup option off the bench. To me, Zach Collins is a great option to come off because he provides energy. But once again, he's not also a great option either. Jusuf Nurkic going down with that leg injury, man, that messed up their whole rotation because Enes Kanter getting offensive rebounds in the second unit, that's what they were building towards the end of the season until, like I said, Jusuf Nurkic got hurt. So, and then you have Nikola Jokic. He's building in every game. He's getting stronger. You got Jamal Murray who's getting stronger. He's playing exceptionally well. I might have to pick. I might have to pick the Nuggets in Game 6. Now, I said I might, but I'm not going to go that far yet. I'm going to have to see them win Game 6. Because if this gets to a Game 7, if the Blazers can go back home and win a Game 6, then I'm picking the Blazers in a Game 7. I think the Blazers have gone through so much that I think in the Game 6 tomorrow, I believe which is going to be back in Portland, we might see a different side of Portland that steps up. So that remains to be seen. But yesterday, it wasn't the greatest day to watch basketball. I'm pretty sure you guys would agree. 2 blowouts, and it happened in a matter of 2 quarters when it happened. It was basically both games, the second and third quarters, when both teams really pulled away. You saw Philadelphia make a run in the third quarter, and then they got blown off in the second half of the third quarter again with turnovers. Kawhi Leonard didn't have the greatest game yesterday. He only had 21 points and 11 rebounds. He didn't shoot great from the field, but his teammates stepped up. Pascal Siakam had 25 points, but he didn't have a great day shooting from the field. But here's who stepped up. Danny Green had 17 points. Kyle Lowry had 19 points, which is crazy. You had Marc Gasol, who had 11 points, but he's doing a great job of defending Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid only had 13 points. So the inconsistencies, what I'm seeing from the 76ers, which is why I don't trust them. For the Blazers, to me, the only way they win is if McCollum and Lillard are both having efficient nights scoring over 25. That's the only way to me that they win. And they have to rebound. That also has to be a thing. They have to box out and rebound. That's going to do it for this video, guys. That was my breakdown and analysis on last night's games in the NBA and the playoffs so far. But thank you guys for listening to this video. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.